Hello YouTube and welcome to part 5 of our physical Archon build, where we have just killed Darius Crunley, and now we're going to continue with Act 2. Head into the undead infested underground and moving towards Homestead. As you may have seen in the previous episode, we found ourselves a Troll Bone Crusher, which was a very unexpected find from the one person who can drop it before Crunley, but also very welcome drop. That increased our damage a lot and made the Crunley fight a little bit easy, I would say. But regardless, I'm quite happy it dropped. This will be this particular weapon type will be basically our weapon until level 100, barring a lucky drop of maybe like 1 or 2 different blue items that could replace it. This will probably be the weapon we use until level 100. Now, I will obviously have to swap it out for different versions of the same thing, but the base item is going to be the same. Let's talk to these guys. We are going to pay them, and then we will talk to them about the prison, blah blah blah, send them there. And continue on. More bees here. I'm just after these nests because they do occasionally drop royal jelly. Over here is an optional area. I think it's the Archovian Hippodrome? I forget. It looks like a horse racing track anyway, and there's some scary undead bosses there. We're going to avoid that for now, but we will go in there later because there is a one-shot chest, potentially. And the XP is good. I'm going to do the beehive over here. This is one of my favorite farming spots for royal jelly. Typically, you will end up with several elites in here, and there's usually a lot of hives to click on. We'll see how many jellies we get. You can entirely skip this and just go straight into the Archovian Undercity. I like the jellies. They will be quite helpful later on when we start doing elite and ultimate bosses. The resistances and such you can get from them are pretty good. I think we'll just go to 5 and then back to Shaman. The guide by the Coyote, says it to take it to 5 and leave it there. I think that's probably a good number. There's probably like a soft cap or a breakpoint there where you start getting less per point. Right, we do have crit chance now. I think we're going to skip that anyway. And just keep maxing Savagery and Tenacity of the Boar. 20 OA is pretty nice. And we just keep going on Savagery until it's maxed, I think. So Ulraprax, the Hive Matriarch, again, these things do a lot of poison damage. And lightning? Question mark? If you try and stay at range, there is a decent chance you will get shotgunned by the poison. But since we are melee, we get to avoid a lot of that stuff designed to punish more kitey builds. Okay, Exalted Stash, so that's a one-shot, and we got a blue chest piece. This is probably an upgrade for us in 5 levels when we can wear it. It's actually not amazing, although Vitality and Aether resistances are a little more difficult to cap. It's really actually not that amazing. There we go. Got a couple of jellies. Probably could have skipped this. Speaking of things to skip, if we just got a rift, so I am actually going to go turn in a bunch of quests. And hopefully those royal jellies will we'll have enough reputation with the rovers to actually do that quest. And we just got respected with Devil's Crossing. So we now have access to this gear. So at level 35, for example, the Devil's Chest Guard, that's a huge chunk of health and DA, and physical resistance is quite hard to find on a lot of gear, especially while leveling. So that's one good option. I think the helmets and the shoulders were also decent. Aether resistance and pierce resistance, and again physical resistance. Shoulders are not bad. We will go on a bit of a tour at level 35 and have a look at all the gear options we will have access to. We should have access to the Roari stuff as well, and potentially Homestead, although maybe not so much then. Alright, so cross the bridge near Twin Falls, which we can't do because it's broken, and we have to fix it from the other side. And return to the camp in Old Arcovia. So we'll go do that. Alright, Quaid destroyed the forges, already killed Moneybags. Thanks for your stuff. I found some texts you may be interested in. And yes, so this guy here, you have injured men, anything I could do to help. Is this enough royal jelly? So he gives you the recipe for the royal jelly balm, which is a bit of health regen, basically. Not amazing, but he also gives you 3 of them. Later on there will be better potions for royal jelly, but that's the one we have for now. I think we just keep maxing Savagery. What did we get? +4 is it from this? Yeah, +4 to Savagery, and +4 to Feral Hunger. So I think we need one more skill point in that, and then maybe we start on Tenacity of the Boar. Okay, so moving onwards, we now need to go back to Twin Falls, and we're going to head through Arcovia, because that is the only way around this bridge, which is broken. And as I said, you can't fix it from this side, and realistically there's no reason to fix it all, because by the time you can fix it, you will be able to get to the other side anyway. So these ruins, there is one of each again, Devotion Shrine and Totem. And there is a quest in here. There are a few hidden treasure chests in here as well. This lectern here, the Ancient Lectern, will give you a forgotten passage. You don't need to start it out here. There are 3 inside, but now we only need to find 2. Bolvarok has an assignment for us. It's basically kill 3 named undead once you get inside. That lectern that we found, one of the other possible spawn locations for it is right here. So if it's not up there on the mountain or on the hill, it might be here. There's one other spot. And there's also a decent chest. It's not a one-shot, no guaranteed loot, but a decent chest through here. Marauder's Ammo Belt gives you the ability to dual wield range weapons. Very good for a pistol build that doesn't have Inquisitor. Completely worthless for us. Actually, is it? Yeah, I wouldn't say worthless, but we're not going to use it. Okay, so moving on. There's a desecrated shrine that we have to fight for. At the moment, every devotion point we get is a very large jump in power because of the Kraken. So we definitely want to, I mean, you want to get every shrine you can anyway, but these are very powerful points for us compared to, on average, you know, another point might give you 5% health and that's it. So, chaos resistance, poison and acid resistance, offensive ability, and a bunch of fire stuff we don't really care about. This probably is an upgrade. I'm not going to use it though, just because I don't want to mess around with replacing the the attachment on it. Right, the Kraken. Do we want health, attack speed, cast speed, same, or crit damage and fizz resist? I think we take the attack speed and health. Alright. So with these skeletons as well, the skeletons with a yellow glow around them are priests, and they will heal other undead. So when you see, for example, this guy, Skeletal Priest, see how he has the yellow glow? He's going to be healing things, so you want to kill him first. Alright, welcome to the Archovian Undercity. The monsters in here are one of the factions that you can get reputation with. And by reputation I mean negative reputation. So if you look here, the Archovian Undead, they're hostile, they don't like us, but later, much later, they do have a nemesis spawn. So that is something we could potentially farm for loot. It's also something that could potentially kill us at some point, so you really want to keep your eye on any faction that is nearing nemesis status, because they don't spawn when you open the game. They will check certain spawn points when you get near them. They will check if you have nemesis, so potentially there could be, when you hit nemesis status with any faction, if you're in the right or the wrong area, a nemesis could spawn like 2 screens away from where you are. It's pretty unlikely, but it is possible. And so you, especially in hardcore, while leveling, you want to have it in the back of your mind what you're fighting, how close you are to nemesis. Not an issue for right now, because we are nowhere near it for any of our factions, but it is definitely something to be mindful of. I found usually it'll be the beasts, or we don't have them yet, but the Ethereal Vanguard usually are the first 2 that I get, followed by Chthonians. Just because the Ethereal Vanguard is a lot of Ashes of Malmo, especially if you find, like, if you want to farm the Krieg set, if you're playing a Death Knight or a Battle Mage, you're going to be killing a lot of them, and you will have Nemesis quite quickly. Whereas if you're, for example, this build, if we get very unlucky, we could end up killing a lot more Chthonians than normal, because this build wants an MI medal from Chthonians. So potentially they could be first for this character. Beasts are pretty much everywhere and die in droves, so they're usually in your top sort of 2 or 3. So Nomos Dread here is one of the named undead we had to kill for that quest. You can see while I was hitting him, a lot of the damage I was taking was from those archers. So that's why I do strongly recommend getting your piercing resistances up for this section specifically, but also for Crumley's gang with their pistols. Okay. This guy is not part of the quest, but he potentially has loot. And you saw his health bar just jump up. That was this priest, who is unfortunately no longer with us. But he went from almost dead to full health. So I basically had to kill him more than twice, which is why you want to target the priests first. Alright, so we are now maxed on Savagery, and I think we are just... What's our crit chance? 6%. I don't think this is worth getting. Maybe at a higher level, when you get your crit chance up to like 20-30%, this is probably worth it, but I think for low level, we'll just start working on Tenacity of the Boar. So we do have more stuff to do in here. However, if we go out here, we will have access to a quest to kill a bird woman. There is a rift gate here, and then we have to run across this section at some point anyway, and there is a devotion shrine kind of halfway to the next rift gate across here. So I typically pop out, grab that quest, we'll complete it on the way to the devotion shrine, grab the devotion shrine, and then run to the next portal, and then come back and finish the Archovian Undercity. So something like that, the Searing Solid Wall Maul of Cruelty, that may be a decent upgrade for you if you didn't get lucky with the Troll Bone Crusher earlier on. Another reason to skip out on the Archovian Undercity early is just up ahead there are some more trolls. So if you don't have the Troll Bone Crusher from that one troll way back there, you can... yeah, see, this is massive downgrade currently. But that might have been an upgrade for you if you didn't have the Troll Bone Crusher already. And as I said, we are getting into troll territory coming up. So you will be able to farm one up here if you don't already have it. More attack speed, please, and more health. If you remember way back in the first video, I mentioned how in hardcore you probably want to have about 100 to 150 HP per level. Because of the skill plan we've chosen, because of our focus on physique, and because of the devotion pathing we've chosen, we are pretty close to 150. I think we're, 40 hit points short of 150 per level, which is a comfortable level. I would prefer more. So if you're playing like a Death Knight, typically when I was leveling it was closer to 200 to 250 per level. That number got a little bit smaller in higher levels because a huge chunk of the HP was coming from Spectral Binding. But by level 100, my Death Knight had 21,000 hit points. And at level 50, it had, I think, 15 or 16,000. So we're healthy, but I would like more, is what I'm saying. This is the Smuggler's Path Rift. In this area, on the one side you have ethereals, on the other side you have trolls and whatever the beast men are called. So these trolls here, mountain brutes, there's like Mistborn is the other part of this. So you can farm up there you go, Superior Troll Bone Crusher of Ruin pretty easily. These guys drop them. If you don't get it on one trip through, by 2 or 3 trips through the Smuggler's Pass, you pretty much guaranteed to have one. I'm gonna swap that since it was actually better. And I am actually going to go back. I missed the bird woman because I was too busy rambling, so I need to go back for her. But if, unlike me, you were paying attention and killed her on the way, you can just rift straight back to the Barren Highlands rift gate, which we got when we came out of the Archovian Undercity, and you can just dip back in for the other 2 Old Scars elites. Like I said though, I was too busy waffling, so I have to run back on foot. We ran straight past her. She's in there. You can see she's in a little tower. You can see the outline of it on the map. So I was actually basically within one screen of her, and just casually strolled on by instead of killing her. This is Elsa. She is the rover woman that you were sent to find by Monet. There's no quest for her. I think when you kill Darius Cronley, you go back and talk to Monet, and then for whatever reason, he just doesn't care if you find her after that. And if you talk to her, she'll tell you a little bit about the area. So this is Lutra the Abandoned. This is the harpy that we were sent to kill by the ghost outside of the Archovian Undercity. So she's dead. And now I'm going to teleport to the wrong place. I did not want Twin Falls. I want the Broken Hills. If you want to get really fancy with this, you can drop your own portal right next to this ghost to save you that little bit of walking. Doesn't really make a big deal. That quest gives you 1 attribute point. On normal and elite, there are 4 quests that will give you attribute or skill points. That was one of them. So we're going to go down to the next level, which has the last two elites we were sent here to kill. And then we will drop down to the last level and kill Kilrian. Or at least attempt it. Our vitality resistance is quite low. Who is not someone we were sent to kill, but does have a devotion shrine right next to him, so we are going to kill him. Just for that shrine. So for the 3 elites you were sent here to kill, one of them is on the first level, and you pretty much run into him by accident. I don't think there's a way to get to the 2nd floor without going through the room he's in. But regardless, he's pretty hard to miss. We'll come down here to the 2nd area. And we will find Laudos Vagra and Ravina Kerr. Forsaken Spirit Shrine. I think we can give it a shot. Spirit is going to be undead, ghosts, that sort of thing, so here we go. Yeah, look at that damage. I did use the trinket, so we've got 100% extra damage for a little bit, but yeah, I mean, look how quickly that all died. So we got a blueprint, we got a blue item for pets. Did I mention I'm getting a lot of pet loot lately? I think I did. And I don't think any of this is going to be upgrades for us. I'm going to go back and sell that. When you first start out, iron bits don't seem like they're that useful, but then you will start unlocking faction items, and the faction items themselves are a little bit expensive, and especially once you start wanting to buy writs, merits, those sorts of things. So for Devil's Crossing, if you come to the Quartermaster, for the moment, I mean, these are 13, 18,000. You know, we could buy 3 of those fairly comfortably, maybe a 4th. But when you look at the blueprints, they're all 10,000 each, 20,000, back to 10, 11. And this is 100,000 for just Devil's Crossing. So, like I said, iron bits don't seem like they're that important until you want to buy a writ or a merit. I forget which one is which. But the ones that increase your reputation gain with one of the factions, and you just can't do it because you don't have enough iron bits because you were ignoring loot during leveling. So I will be picking up the rares probably until Ultimate. I might filter them out around then. That was a little bit close. So what happened there was I was overconfident and I thought we could just tank the meteors. So the meteors hit the ground, and then when they exploded, I got hit by a bunch of them while also tanking all that, and did not get lucky with feral hunger procs, and so yeah, nearly died. That was almost the end of the run. Fortunately, it didn't actually end, but that was quite close, and that was entirely my fault for standing underneath meteors that I knew were coming. I could have moved, and I chose not to. And that's how you lose characters in hardcore, so I guess do as I say you should and not as I do. That would have been a little bit embarrassing. Hardcore playthrough ends in Act 2. Alright, anyway, let's get some more fancy loot. And we'll keep moving on. So that elite was one of the 3 we were sent here to kill. And the 3rd one is coming up ahead. Here we are. So Rovina Kerr has some friends. Might actually have to kill her friends first. Especially, yeah, once there's priests involved. Okay, we'll kill her off. Again, you can hear those archers in the background. Plink, 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 plink. It's all damage. Alright. If anyone's wondering, because the button is not bound by default, there is a keybind you can use for hiding all of the loot on your screen, which can be quite useful. I have it bound to Z or Z, depending on what part of the world you're from. And I find it very useful, especially for totems, because you know you unlock a totem, or you click on a totem, and there's 5 elites, and you kill them, and another wave spawns, and now there's loot all over the ground, and you can't see anything. So I find it's definitely good to turn all that off. I think in the last episode I was talking about dynamite and how they're really good for treasure troves. So I just found one. It's here. You can see it's wrapped in chains and padlocks, and open the chest. You blow it up with dynamite, got a blue item, got a blueprint. Pretty good. So the blueprint was probably not something we're going to use. And the belt, potentially +3 to smite, is not awful. Clear this rubbish out of the way and I'll have another look. Okay, so a lot more armor, which is nice. Defensive ability is also nice. Aether resistance is nice, but 8% is not a big deal. The reduced stun duration is quite nice, and the +3 to smite is also good. I am going to swap that in, and I will also have to take the anti-venom salve out of our current belt. So again, port back to Homestead, belt in, keep the add-on, and there we go. So that +3 to smite takes us to 8, which is a 24% chance to be used instead of 21, so not a huge deal, but the flat physical damage and the main hand damage percentage is going to be good. I think we also gained 6% damage to undead and chthonics, so pretty good. He wants dynamite. I think I want to keep my dynamite for now. I probably will do that later, but for the moment I've only got 3 dynamite, and I'm gonna need them later. Alright, this is the final floor of the Arcovian Undercity, and these gates here have a big scary monster behind them whose name is Kilrian. He does a lot of vitality damage, and if your vitality resistance is low, like, you know, say if you've only got 20% vitality resistance, not sure why anyone would come in here with that low amount, but there we go. He's probably going to wreck your shit, so we do have Soul Shard. I think I'm going to chuck that on there. That'll bring us to 40. That's probably a little more survivable. If I had another one, I would use it. I don't think I have another one though. Just checking if I picked up a, there it is, Mark of the Traveler, move speed, slow resistance, and regeneration on the boots. So these boots now give us, what's that, 22% movement speed from one item. That's pretty good. Alright, so if your vitality resistance is low, put a soul shard on each of your rings. I wouldn't bother putting them on your amulet, there's better things to go there. We might do a crafting session when we get to Homestead, maybe at level 35. Again, a lot of what he does is going to be designed to kind of, not punish, but make life more difficult for ranged attackers. You do not want to stand in that pool. As I charge back into it, I just want to get rid of the priests. He has a dart that he will throw at you, and if it hits you, it does a lot of vitality damage, and I think it has a damage over time effect, and probably some other stuff as well. It's not something you want to get hit by. One-handed, am I? Fire stuff, not really interested. Right. This is what we were here for. Kilrian himself. I don't think he dropped it. Let me have a look. No. He has a component that only he can drop. It's Kilrian's Shattered Soul. And if you're doing a Vitality build, so say you're playing a Vitality Caster, which is a very popular suggestion for your first class, then it is a chest component that is very good for you. It has a chance to basically drain life from anything in melee range. It's really good. Where were we up to? Okay, Smuggler's Pass. I think in this video we'll probably get to Homestead and then split the video again. We're already kind of getting on a little bit, but that's right. So as I said when we were here last time, if you don't have a Troll Bone Crusher, you can run through here. You will probably get one to drop. And if you don't get one to drop, so for example, that big troll, his club, that's what you're after. If you don't get one to drop, you basically just exit the game, come back in, all this area will be repopulated, you can kill them all again, and I would be very surprised if it takes you more than maximum 3 times through here to get one to drop. And you can come back at like level 40, you can come back at level 50 and get a new one. So don't stress too much about the affixes. That is an ancient totem, I'm going to leave that for now. So this is Voldrak the Destroyer. He is a little bit scary. As you can see, health bar evaporates. But so does his. Okay. Superior of Alacrity. That is better than the one I'm wearing. So, I've been through here once, and I've had 3 Trollbone Crushers drop. So, as I said, it's not going to take you long to get one, and if you need to, just come out here, There's another rift gate on the other side of this underground area. Just get that, close your game out, come back in, and clear this tunnel again. You will get one. I will be very surprised if it takes more than 2 or 3 resets. Some more trolls out here. I wonder if I'll get a 4th one. Doesn't look like it. These hunters are quite annoying with their nets. Okay, rift gates here. And there we go. I'm actually going to cut it here. This video is getting a little bit long, but in the next video we will talk to Olgrim, see what the cook from Devil's Crossing is doing out in the middle of the waste here, and then continue on towards Homestead. But for now, this has been part 5, so thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one.